So the test outline, part calculator, part no calculator. I will give you the calculator part first. When you turn that in, I will give you the no calculator part. Because I don't want you going back and forth between the two, because it would be real easy to remember a no calculator question and then swap out the test and type it in the calculator and swap it back. And so just to avoid that, you'll start with the calculator part. When you turn that in, I'll give you the no calculator part.
Is calculator only parametric?
Yes.
Okay.
In fact, I'll give you the exact breakdown of what's on the calculator and what's on the not calculator part. So we'll start with the calculator part, and it's really just one multi-step parametric problem. So I don't know how you want to count that. Is it one problem or is it four problems? It's one set of equations that you type in the calculator, and then we ask for four different things. It's really similar to one on the review. I think it asks for the height and the time at the top. So again, you're using your trace button and being careful. And I did check, the answers are not as close together on the, it is multiple choice, but they're not, the difference is in like the 10th place rather than the 1000th place. You remember that? Because like in the homework, you had to like zoom in and play around. It's like, this is going to be annoying on the test. On the test, the differences are, I think the difference in the answer choices are tenths, or maybe even 2/10. So they're wide enough apart where you shouldn't have to zoom in. Maybe you have to zoom in once, but it wouldn't be more than that. And if you set your t value to step by like 0.1 or maybe 0.05, I think you'll be fine. So it's a little bit nicer than what the worksheets were. And then the other two questions will be like, how far away does it land, and at what time does it land? Maybe I should plug in my computer. There we go. So there's your four questions that we'll ask. And again, it matches nearly exactly to number 41 on the review. No, it doesn't match exactly, but it matches pretty darn close. It's exactly that type of problem. And we'll give you the equations. In fact, the setup is nearly identical to 41. That's it for the calculator part. Calculator. So you finish that up, turn it in, put your calculator under your desk, or give it back to me if you're borrowing one of mine.
Is there like a 50 and 50 points, or is it like?
It's definitely not weighted equally.
Yeah.
Because that is not worth 50 points.
Why not?
I don't know what the point values are, but it's not 50-50 for sure. Because that's not how the unit was weighted. It's certainly not how your time will be apportioned when you're doing the test. So you do want to come in and have that ready to go, because that should be quick, right? You should know how to type that in the calculator. I will give you a starting window. Maybe, not sure about that. Then on the no calculator part, 16, draw a graph from an equation. So that's like worksheet 4 and 5. And then 16, where you go the other way, write equation from a graph. Again, that's worksheet 4 and 5. There's 4 where we just ask you for the polar rectangular conversion formulas. And what I mean by that is, here's your answers to that section. X equals r cosine theta. Y equals r sine theta. X squared plus y squared equals r squared. And tangent of theta equals y over x.
And those 4 answers are what we have to put for those 4 questions.
So I forget how the questions are worded, but
But you give one of those, or all 4?
no, like those will be 4 different answers to 4 different questions.
Oh, okay.
And I think,
Bless you.
thank you. If I remember right, there's even a picture drawn. And so even if you didn't have them memorized, the idea is you should be able to figure them out from the picture. X squared plus y squared equals r squared. Tangent of that angle is opposite over adjacent. The sine and cosine ones are a little bit harder, but we've done that enough. X goes with cosine, y goes with sine. Again, the picture, though, will be given. And then there's 2 where we want you to actually do the conversion for points. So we'll give you a rectangular point and ask for it in polar. Give you a polar point, ask for it in rectangular. And you can use those equations. A lot of times if you just plot the point I give you, you can figure out what the other format is. Two intersection problems. Again, with graphs provided, so that can help you, kind of guide your solutions.
That intersection ones are those the ones that are on worksheet 6?
Yeah, that would be worksheet 6, what we just did. There's one graph of parametric by hand, right? So no calculator. So that won't be the crazy window. That'll be make a table of values. And then plot the points. And I think the table might even be provided, right? The t, x, y. And so you plug in t to x, t to y, and then plot the x, y. Don't get confused and try to plot the t values. You're plotting the x and y. And then lastly, to convert a polar equation to a rectangular equation. Kind of a fair warning, some of the classes, you may know this, some of the classes are testing today. Ms. Murray said it took some of them the full period, so this is a full test for some people. She did say the only people who hadn't finished at the end, I guess I'm giving away something here, but or at least her thoughts. The 2 or 3 people that hadn't finished at the end, she said they hadn't done their homework, and so it's one of those teachers don't feel bad. Like if it takes you the whole time, but you haven't prepared for the test, well, that's not on me, that's on you. But that is to say, this is not one of those tests. Some of you, use the full test time to kind of learn it as you go and teach it to yourself, and that's a good skill to be able to do that. Like kind of learn on the fly on test day. It's not really the best way to go. I don't think you'll have time to do that. So make sure you're prepared when we come in. We'll get started right away. And again, if you know what you're doing, you'll have enough time. If you spend too much time somewhere, then you might run out of time. So don't diddly-dally around. Get to it. If you hit one you don't know, skip it and come back to it. Again, you will have enough time, but you won't have a ton of extra time to come out to the side and sort of reteach yourself the lesson on